Welcome back. Let's get into it.
Which saves you more money, gas or an electric car?
Guessing an electric, depending on your situation, but almost always it's true.
I've had my 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E for about 2, almost going on 3 years now. Before that, I drove a gas car for about 5 years. So here are the stark differences between having a gas car and an electric car.
Love it. Love it. Data, let's go.
While we give my car some TLC.
Filling up my car with gas for the whole month would cost me $240, but charging my car now, that only costs me about $75 for the whole month.
Love it. Great. That's very, very good savings.
And because my car's fully electric, there's literally no engine, which means way fewer moving parts. I don't have to worry about oil changes, spark plugs, all that jazz. I've cut my maintenance cost to about 40% compared to my gas car. So now my maintenance is really just tires and alignment.
Yeah, tires. Yeah, I get you on that. That's really the only thing that I feel like I paid more for in all my years owning EVs.
Let's talk incentives. I'm gonna hook you guys up here. If you go over to electricforall.org, they actually have a super helpful tool that shows you what money incentives are available in your area. You can literally earn rebates from your state and local programs just for choosing to drive electric.
Yeah, I'm not sure if all those programs are still around. I think they're still state programs, but the federal ones, from what I understand, are just gone.
Plus, find real stories and tips from other EV drivers if you're thinking about getting one.
Love it. Yeah. Good video. Appreciate you.
I don't really like EV vehicles unless a customer specifically requests one. I know as we go on with the economy and the gas prices and everything, a lot of people want to switch to EV. They drop a lot in price. I think they're very, very problematic. One of the batteries on the Tesla died, so I had to get it towed to get it charged. I don't mind selling them, I just don't like to hold them.
So he's like a car dealer. And yeah, I mean, this is where it's tough, right? Because the product is clearly better in almost every way conceivable, and yet it doesn't check all the boxes of the existing industry and infrastructure, service reductions, all those kind of things. So I understand his concerns or whatever, from his perspective.
I'm just not an EV guy. I might be biased.
You are biased, yes.
Imagine losing $30,000 in just 2 years.
So what happens when you buy a new car? Sad to say.
This is a 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Let me tell you, the inside of this car is not bad. The outside of the car looks pretty good. But when you buy one of these, you can lose so much money. Like I said, this one has lost over $30,000 in value in 2 years.
That seems like a lot. Maybe if it was a really high price to begin with, but you shouldn't be losing that much on this car because they're not that much to begin with.
The MSRP on this back in 2023 was $50,000.
Exactly. So you're saying that this car is now worth $20,000? I don't buy it. Let's look. Okay, not exactly $30,000, but close to it. And holy crap, this is an amazing deal, guys. This makes me happy. I don't know what, I guess if he was told by somebody that you buy a new car and it holds its value, that somebody was lying to him. Hopefully his parents would be smarter with money and have those conversations, but maybe he's a young guy, didn't know that this is his first time, doing this kind of thing, because if you can buy a used Mach-E like the one he has there, and I think this one is pretty close to that model, for $23,000, that is a good deal. And like you said, it's a great car. I love this thing. So yeah, go check those out.
It's like the door handle. You have to have this push button now to open the door. And there's no physical way to get into this car besides that push button from the outside. So when the battery dies, you have to go over to the front bumper. You got to push this panel in, pull this out, and then take these two cables right here. These are the cables that you use. You jump this with a jump box, which I don't know where you would have because it'd probably be in the car that's locked in the car. Opens the front. Then you jump the battery, then you can open the door again.
Yeah, that's a pretty rare coincidence. That doesn't happen, really. So I don't know. I think he's just kind of finding things to complain about. If that happened to him, that really sucks, but just, like running out of gas on the side of the highway, which people have been doing for forever. So it's, pay attention. Let me ask you a question here real quick. Do you love documenting how you do your job, writing SOP documents or training guides for new hires? I didn't think so. In fact, for me in my business, it's my least favorite task. That was until I found today's sponsor, Scribe. Scribe is all about doing the work once and turning it into step-by-step guides anyone can follow. So that way you can teach others, work more efficiently as a team, and stop getting pulled into the same "how do I do this" questions. The way Scribe works is by recording your workflow in real time and automatically. It then builds a step-by-step guide that anyone can follow, complete with screenshots, steps, and everything else that somebody might need to follow along. Now, for me personally, it comes down to repeatability. I have several contractors on my team located all over the world, so I can't always be available to hop on a call with them when they have a question. So for things like uploading videos to a new platform or creating a different format for a short video or something like that, I can use Scribe to get a clean guide for them to follow. You can also share these scribes anywhere. So it doesn't really matter if you have some big corporate governance structure in place. You can build these and share them so anyone else can follow along. And then later, you can update them and just overwrite the previous one so there's no version control or anything else or old copies floating around. If you're ready to work smarter and move faster, just like over 5 million people have already done so with Scribe, head to scribe.how/Ben Sullins or click on the link in the description down below to get started for free. Thanks to Scribe for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to it.
Economically, the only car anyone should buy is a used Model 3.
You know, not too disagreeing with that. I think that's fair. Probably other options as well, like a RAV4 something or other, RAV4 Prime, those kind of things. You know, cheap, affordable, whatever. But of course, we don't buy cars for those reasons. And this is coming from The Verge, so I'm curious to see what they say.
I know.
It's forever my favorite Neil I take because it is unequivocally true and makes everybody feel feelings. And I love it. I think people actually want electric cars, regardless of like all the noise and like people who experience them are like, this is a better experience than gas cars. I'm saying this as somebody who has gas cars and like the dumbest possible gas cars and loves them very much.
I love that because I think that's what it comes down to, right? Like I have a real watch on my wrist. I don't have an Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is unequivocally better in so many ways, but yet still I love real watches. So it's one of those things, you can still love a gas car for reasons, but it doesn't mean that electric cars aren't better in almost every single way. So when it comes to your daily driver, I think most people really don't care about cars when it comes down to it. They just want something that's reliable and affordable, maybe looks cool and is fun to drive. I mean, it does all those things better than every gas car out there. It doesn't mean that a Mercedes SL 300 from the 60s or whatever isn't amazing. Of course it is. They don't have to compete with each other. They can be mutually exclusive things that are both awesome.
There's no reason for my daily driver to be anything other than EV. And I think that is proven out for like lots of people in lots of ways. And so I think we'll see that market reset itself a little bit.
Do you think it's entirely or just mostly because the new Nissan Leaf looks kind of sick?
The new Nissan Leaf does look really good, and I saw it in person a few months back. These big car companies are slow to adapt, right? They're slow to change, but when they do, they tend to do well, especially like that. Look at the new Prius. I mean, it's not fully electric, but like people love it. So, I like where it's going.
I think it's the Leaf. I think Chevy's going to do the Bolt at like 29.
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of cars coming in at 30,000 or less is going to be a huge thing for that market.
Yeah, agreed. There's a lot of really awesome EVs at a lower price point right now. I still kind of think Tesla's the best one out there. I mean, even having lots of time experiencing the BYDs and stuff of the world, Tesla still to me is sort of the perfect, package. It's like iPhones, they're not the best really at any one thing, but all together, like they're greater than the sum of their parts in a way. It's kind of how I feel. So I'm still a huge fan of Tesla vehicles, really.
The theory that the moon isn't real.
What? What are we doing? My assistant's playing jokes on me with these.
There's this crazy theory that says and swears that the moon is not real.
So what are we looking at every night?
That glowing beautiful ball in the sky doesn't exist. Or that it's not natural in any way.
What's the difference then?
The craziest thing is that they say that it's actually a projection. An artificial hologram that's placed in the sky just to distract us.
From what? Oh my God, this is the most insane. Yeah, I mean, besides the millions of ways you can scientifically disprove this, and the fact that we've been to the moon for one,
and supposedly control us as well. Supporters of this theory point out to glitches in the telescope images or weird photos of the moon's surface.
Do you have a telescope? Just point it at the moon. It's pretty obvious.
They even point out the fact that no one has returned since the Apollo missions.
That's not entirely true, but okay, we've put things on the moon. In fact, we just put a new thing on the moon last year. It was the first time a commercial company had done that with, I think it was called Firefly. So yeah, what are they talking about?
Some believe that it's hiding something, and others believe that the moon wasn't even real in the first place, which is, yeah, crazy.
This is like the kind of conspiracy theories that don't even add up. You know, I mean, like the Earth is flat one, because you look at it and you go, but who cares? Why would somebody do this? And it's like, well, we don't know. If you don't know what the conspiracy is about, then like, how do people get roped into it? I don't understand that bit of this. All right, moving on.
This is the exact reason why EVs in Australia are in their adolescence.
That's such a weird take. And you're obviously not Australian, so I'm curious, you know, your opinion on their industry, how long you've been there.
I'm here in Tenterfield, Australia, on my car, and I'm on about 20%. I've just driven from Brisbane, so it's about 350 Ks, and I need to keep going for another couple hours. So I've stopped at a Tesla supercharger, and over here, there are all 4 of the chargers are in use.
Yeah, it's a small supercharging station. If that's a normal one down in Australia, that definitely does seem, but there has to be other charging stations out there.
And there's Tesla there, and another Tesla right here. Obviously myself. So there's a wait time. The only viable charging solution between Brisbane and, let's say, Armidale or Inverell. So this is where everyone's, oh shit, still collapsing the hole. So this is the only viable stopping solution for most EV users. So a bit of an interesting situation.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. You just got to plan it out better. And if your only stop was to a station with 4, yeah, that's a bit dicey. I mean, I remember in the early days of Tesla coming from San Diego to Phoenix and back, and I think we had, one supercharging station in Yuma was the only one. I don't think the El Centro. Yeah, I mean, so, and I remember times going there. It never was overcrowded, but it was a bit precarious of like, okay, we got to charge all the way up. And I mean, so I could understand the concern here. I don't know this route or any of those things, but I'm guessing there's other places to charge. But let me know in the comments if you've been there.
We've got about a 15-minute wait time, and then we'll probably be on the charger for 30 minutes or so before we keep going. But that's the issue I see now in Australia is there isn't any infrastructure for this. It's coming. It's come a long way in the last 5 years or so. Like, these ones are pretty new. They're about a year and a half old. But yeah, that's the issue that we're facing now, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's got it right. That's exactly what's happening. This is why there's big incentives and big pushes to install the infrastructure all over the world. So infrastructure is a key thing that's needed. The good news is the electricity grid already exists. You just need to tap into it. So it's not like you're completely reinventing something like, a gas station where you have to like dig out the hole and put the gas there. Like, there's already electricity everywhere you're going. So, it's not as big of a challenge as some people might think.
What's a conspiracy theory that
The Bro Show? Is this God, what was it? The morning show? Wasn't it? Is this from a TV show or is this a real thing? Because that was like Jennifer Aniston and the guy. Yeah.
like you can really get behind?
They didn't land on the moon.
I don't think they did either.
This again?
I think it's total bullshit. They did it back in 1969 or some shit.
Yeah.
They haven't done it again.
They haven't done it again. So they haven't done it since 1969, except when they did it in 1971, 1971 again, 1972, and then 1972 again. So we absolutely have done it since then. And the whole point, if you remember back then, was the space race. It was about supremacy in the skies. It was about military dominance. It wasn't about being these great explorers. So since then, have the U.S. sent humans back to the moon? No. But we're not the only ones in the world that have sent people and things up to the moon. Here's a great map showing all the different landings, the 28 different times that different countries have sent missions to the moon, whether it's humans, whether it's landers, whether it's whatever. So that is one of the easiest ones to debunk. In fact, we have footage even as recent as 2025 of the first commercial lander that happened to be on the moon as well. In fact, there's a time-lapse video of Blue Ghost was the mission from Firefly, the first commercial company to land something on the moon back in 2025. So yeah, this has been happening for a long time, and we have all kinds of imagery and stuff. This is one of the easiest things to debunk, and my good friend Tim Dodd over at the Everyday Astronaut did a great video that was like over an hour long looking at every single version of this. So, but let's get back to the nonsense and see what else I have to say.
A technology.
Well, supposedly it was extremely expensive, but I don't know.
Elon Musk is shooting out rockets left and right. You're telling me he can't put someone on the moon?
There is a plan for them to do that. I think Blue Origin might have the contract, though. The Artemis missions are coming up, so these guys are just unaware, but this is happening soon.
I think they did it because they wanted to beat out Russia at the
yeah.
time. So they had a studio and they filmed it.
No, so see, the whole filming the thing is an interesting take, but there's so many ways you can look at how that's not possible with the shadows and all that kind of stuff and the cameras and things. It just wouldn't be possible at the time.
Did you ever see the footage
you
of them
think-
landing
Yeah.
on the moon? It's
Bullshit.
total
So
bullshit.
you think like Buzz Aldrin was just paid off, or do you think they
Yeah, of
like
course.
Men in Blacked his ass?
I mean, and what about all the other people that have been there, right? I think that people at this level of knowledge of the subject don't know that there have been a lot of people that have been to the moon, and it's not just those two guys in that one trip.
And like
No,
he
they paid
doesn't
him off.
remember.
They paid them all. What if they say, hey, I'm going to give
That
you...
breaks my heart.
No,
that
I
trickles
think-
all the way down to Toy Story. It invalidates my entire childhood.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's true.
I love her. She's great. It's not true. I don't know what the hell that guy's is saying, but those guys are nonsense. They're full of it. So anyways, keep sending these in. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you back here next time.